Hey guys, I know this video is long overdue and I apologize. There's just been so much going on with the board of nursing, my transcripts, studying, the baby, the virus, everything's, it's just been a lot. I will say me and my family are safe. We have not contracted the coronavirus. We have been standing at home, following all orders. I am not working at the time. I haven't worked since April 14th. That was my last day of work because my babysitter, she lives with 2 grandchildren and 2 adults. And I just don't really want to risk anything right now. So I'm planning to wait till April the 30th and see what the governor has planned at that time. So anywho, you guys know this is the last video I will be doing before it will be all about Capella University, which is the school that I told you guys I was thinking about going to for my bachelor's. So one of the reasons it took so long for me to even do this video is because I was not able to test for the NCLEX. So my transcripts took forever for the licensing Michigan license department to get my transcripts. I believe they lost them after 3 weeks and they still didn't have them. I had the school resend them and then they got it within 3 days. So they didn't get my transcripts until like the 2nd week of March. So I'm like, okay, I can go ahead and schedule for my test. And I think it was March 20th or something when I was about to schedule. And then I found out that they had stopped testing on March 17th. No Pearson View facilities were allowing people to test because of the coronavirus. So I was like, oh my God. So here I am, like, the wait. So I end up calling, contacting the licensing department, and I'm like, what's the plans? Because, you know, people need their license to go finish up school, start their bachelor's program or MSc, whatever they got planned. And then some people are trying to work. And right now, they really need to be working. So I'm like, I emailed them and I asked them, like, do you guys have plans? Are you guys planning to do, let people test at home where they can set up a camera and you guys have proctors watching them take the test? What's the plan? And so that day they had reopened testing. So they sent me the details about it, that like you guys can test now. And then they changed some guidelines. So because they want as many people to be able to test at this time, they changed the guidelines to the NCLEX. Right now, the minimum questions to answer is 90, and the max questions to answer is 130 questions. So I was like, okay. So I scheduled, and the earliest date was April 27th. I was like, I was supposed to start school April 13th. Now I can't even start school. I did everything I needed to do to be able to start school. So when I got my license, I could just send them my license number and move forward. So that was that. So then I get an email. They canceled my test date. And the email said, we canceled, your test date has been canceled. You need to reschedule. So I was like, oh my God, I was pissed. So I'm like, I'm not going to, it probably ain't another test until May, June. So I went on there and it was, say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Little Aiden. So I went on there and it was a test. I looked at all the testing centers to see when was the soonest test date. And they had one in Southfield where I believe it was Sunday. And they had one in Southfield where I could have tested the next day. But it was like at 8 a.m. and you have to be there 30 minutes early. And I was like, oh, that's too early for me. So then they had one for that Thursday. So I was like, okay, I'll do the Thursday and I'll like binge study these 3 days. So I study. And what I used to study, I didn't use UWorld or anything. I didn't even get a chance to open up my NCLEX Saunders book. I decided I wanted to take a risk. And I call it take a risk because you really can't listen to people. And I said that before because your study habits or the way you do things may be totally different from someone else's. And I've always heard that ATI didn't help. ATI is not helpful and all this stuff. So ATI claims if you do complete the ATI, you have like a 90-something% chance of passing the NCLEX on the first try. And then they also, at the end, you take a prediction test or something where you answer 150 questions, and then it will tell you a percent rate of your chances of passing on the first try. So for you guys, I said I'm going to take the chance and a risk and only study using ATI. I also listened to Mark Clement, though. I've been listening to him. I've been told you guys about him. Audio lectures that someone sent me. I've listened to him in the past, and so I started within the 3 days. I spent one day just listening to him just to refresh my memory or whatever. So I only did ATI as far as answering questions and things like that. Because I wanted to make sure, because everybody don't have that extra money when they come out of school to pay for this NCLEX review. That, the school gives you ATI for free, and if it's not going to help you pass, then I don't think that they would be having you do it. And then you have to wait till you get a green light in order to even move on. So that's what I use. Okay, so my test date come, which is this past Thursday. What's today? Friday. Oh, yesterday. This quarantine stuff. I'll be knowing what day it is. People talking about happy Easter. I'm like, when is Easter? They like Sunday. I was like, we can forget Easter. Like, come on now. But anyway, so I went to test Dearborn location because it was a 12 o'clock slot, and I picked that 12 o'clock. I can get there at 11:30. Fine. So I get there. They Lysol and everything, wiping everything down. Somebody touched something, they wiping it down. They don't care what it is. They people got on face masks or whatever. They cleaning keyboards. They doing what they supposed to do to prevent the virus from spreading in there. So I think it was like 7 of us, and they had the cubicles, everybody in every other cubicle. So I was in the last cubicle, which was in a separate little room. And thank God I was in that one because I hadn't been out the house and I hadn't been having to wear a face mask. So that was my first time wearing a face mask, and it was so hot under that face mask. Not only that, your girl breath was banging. I was like, there is no way I can sit here and take this test smelling my breath through the whole test. Absolutely not. So I was like, thank God I'm in a room, because they wouldn't let me close the door. But I was in there by myself, so I just end up I end up just taking, like, pulling it down or whatever. And when I went out the room, I put it back on. So, no. So that was that. So I began it. Last time I tested, it was cold. Like when I was going for Excelsior and to the testing centers and stuff, it was, some testing centers were cold and I would just be freezing. So I prepared for this time. I dressed warm and I had a waist trainer on. And my waist trainer, thought it was up there, but my waist trainer had these little balls in it and they heat up, and so it keeps you warm. So I was like, I'm gonna wear this. So when I got there, it was already warm, so the waist trainer was making me hot. So as soon as I started the test, I raised my hand. Hey there. As soon as I got started taking the test, I raised my hand and asked to take a break because I had got real hot. So the waist training on me got me hot. It's hugging my intestines. So on top of nerves, I was like, okay, I have to go do a number 2. So it was all bad. So I took the waist trainer off, did my little thumpity thump, and then went back in there, refreshed, comfortable, ready to test. Start taking a test. Now, a couple people was like, oh, it's easy. It's not easy. I'm not gonna say it was just super hard, but you had to think. It was just not just like no how much Tylenol, the max Tylenol you can give in a day, and it wasn't no easy stuff like that. It was stuff that you really had to think about and answer the question, and you had to be knowledgeable and to pass that test. So don't think you gonna listen to people's. And then I hear a rumor they're saying that they made the test a little easier for people to pass. I didn't find it easy for people if they wanted everybody that takes the test to pass. That's not what I experienced. I really had to think and narrow down to my 2 questions and make the best decision. Some things I just didn't make sense to me. I had to use common sense. It was some questions like, who wrote this question and why is it in here? Is this a sample question or something? It was like that. But the things that I did know, I knew, and I was able to answer those questions. I don't think that they made it easy. I think they just made it where the minimum you have to answer now is 60 questions and the max is 130, so they can get as many people as they can in there. So I end up finishing the test at I believe 65 questions. When it didn't turn off at 60, I didn't look at the number of items I had answered, but after 60, I think I answered like maybe 5 more questions. So I'll say it cut off at 65. So of course your girl was annoyed. I was like, oh my God, I probably failed. Even though I know somebody where the computer turned off on her at 35 questions and she failed or whatnot. I didn't even know that was possible, but it did. I was like, maybe everybody have to answer at least 60 questions. And I wasn't doing so good, so it asked me 5 additional questions to try to help me out, because the thing is, what everybody talks about is the test is designed to help you pass. So if you're doing bad in the area, it'll kick out more questions for you to answer in hopes that you'll get it and end up answering those questions correctly. So I was like, oh my God, I failed. Oh my God. And then I was like, and then I thought about it. I was like, if it's designed how they say it's designed, it wouldn't have gave up on me on 65 questions. I still had 65 more questions to answer. They would have kicked out some more questions for me to try to help me pass if it's designed like they said they did. So I was like, I didn't fail. I passed or whatnot. So now I'm the weight gain. Knowing that I have to wait 24 hours for ATI to have the quick results, I'm like, okay, midnight, I'm gonna get on there and see if it's on there or whatever. The quick results, pay the 7 something, I think like approximately $8 for the quick results. So of course it's not on there, and I'm like, oh, okay, I got done. Oh, so I answered 65 questions and I got done in 2 hours. I started at 12 and I got done at 2. So I got done a little less than 2 hours because remember I took that break or whatnot. So 65 questions, less than 2 hours, I was out of there. So I was like, okay, 2 o'clock is when the computer went off. Oh, the way the computer go off, it scares the shit out of you. Like, it's like they like, get the hell out of here. Just stop. That's how I felt. Like, what? Why did it just stop like that? Like somebody snatched something out of my hand. It was weird. So, I got out of there less than 2 hours. So usually when you your results to be supposed to be on the website around the time that your test was finished. So I'm like, we usually wake up at like 12 noon. Aiden wanted to wake up at 9 a.m. I'm like, oh my God, I did not want to get up this early because now I gotta wait. So anyway, I'm still looking for a house. So I'm on my email looking for houses. My employer, I seen that I was paid for my employer and I'm not working right now. So I'm like, why did they pay me? Like, so I end up calling my employer, like, I got a paycheck. And he's like, yeah. And so I'm like, why? And he was like, you still work for us, right? And I'm like, yeah, but I didn't work. And he was like, I know. So he was like, it's just something to say. We appreciate you and thank you for your hard work. And I was like, oh my God, that is so nice. What a blessing. So I go back to my email after talking to him and getting that blessing. The first blessing was we all woke up this morning. And so then when I got that, I was like, look at God. So that was my second blessing for today. I get back on in my email. Now it's about 10 o'clock. And what pops up? Here's your license, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what? My license? I thought I had to pay the extra money to go to Pearson View and get the quick results. I go to Pearson View, they still don't even have the results on there. And Michigan License Department then sent me my license. So I passed, and I am now Angela Brown, RN. Hey, let me say it again. Angela Brown, RN. Angela Brown, RN. Get it, girl. Get it, girl. Hey, get it, girl. Hey. So I was so excited, like, oh my God, finally I am done with Excelsior. I am done with CP&E, and I am a licensed registered nurse. Won't he do it? And I'm like, and I had to sit down, I had to think, and I was like, this is a big deal. Like, I didn't have a teacher. I didn't go online. I didn't go to campus. I just had a packet that told me what I needed to learn. Here's the books that we recommend. You figure it out. When you think you got it, you go to a testing center and you test out of the class. So I just taught myself what I needed to know to pass the RN program. I taught myself what I needed to know to pass clinicals. I taught myself what I needed to know to pass the state board exam. Like, that is a big deal. Like, I was like, Angela, think about it. You should be proud. It was a hard journey. You had Aiden. You did it though. You stayed strong. You didn't give up. And you did it. Like, it's a big deal. So my birthday was March 24th. I got my license today, April 10th. I start my bachelor's program next Monday, the 13th. It's just a blessing. So whenever this quarantine stuff is over with, I am celebrating all 3 of those. I don't care if it's in December. It is going down. So I'm just so excited about that. What else can I share with you guys? That's basically it. I don't know. Aiden, I'm doing a video, son. You can't turn the light off. I don't know what my raise is yet, but I guess in the next video, I'll let you guys know how much I'll be making as a new RN in home care, working with my lady. And the next video will be about Capella, and I'll let you guys know the prereqs and everything. And starting with the beginning, like Excelsior, I was like playing catch up, like gathering all the information that I had to go through and then telling you guys. So this time as I'm going through it, I'll tell you guys what's going on. And until next time, I wish you all the best of luck if you're doing this Excelsior program. If you're thinking about doing the Excelsior program, they no longer offer the test out option, the credit by exam, where you just learn the material yourself and then go to a testing site and test out of that class. They no longer offer that. You have to do it all online. And it's the CPNE is passable, but a lot of us had some challenges with it. With that being said, I would rather go to a school. If I got to do everything online anyway, it's like, what's the difference between Excelsior and another school where you just have regular clinicals? I would rather do regular clinicals than have to go through the process of doing the CPNE. So, but you guys make your own decision, and I wish you guys all the best of luck. And I want to thank you guys so much for following me on my journey, and just continue to follow me, and we'll see what this bachelor's program is like. And after that, we'll see what this nurse practitioner. I decided to go with nurse practitioner, so I'm really ready to be done with school. And I just figured nurse practitioner was the better route for me versus nurse anesthetist. So stay with me, you guys, and I will talk to you guys maybe Sunday or Monday. Bye. Love you guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.